Hello, beautiful people. How have you guys been? It has been a hot minute since I've made a RuneScape video. Now, I promised you that I wasn't going to disappear and I'd be back making content as soon as there were things that interested me. And this week we got the combat achievements. So I filmed myself completing the easy combat achievements and I thought that we could catch up together, have a little chat, and go over what I'm doing. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack, and let's just get right to it. So when I logged in on reset day, I had 10 out of 19 of the easy achievements. I needed to go back to some giant mole, King Black Dragon, Kalphite Queen, the Chaos Elemental, and the Barrows Brothers. Let's just say I had some pretty intense gaming ahead of me. I decided to go ahead and start with the Barrows Brothers because, I don't know man, that's just where the wind was blowing. So yeah, right, these are easy tasks. This is not something that's going to get me back into RuneScape. It's not something that's going to get me really motivated to create content, but I did want to start with easies just so that I could kind of make it into a little rambling talking mini-series. We are just absolutely raw dogging this commentary, so if I say something weird or sus, it's because I'm going off script, because there is no script. So I had two achievements here. One of them was to use the correct prayer against the Barrows brother, and the other one was to kill them without leaving. Now, I did come with a Ripper Demon, and I totally haven't been here in a long time and just forgot that I couldn't bring a familiar, so Rip to Herald the 97th. Another thing I didn't realize is that for the prayer achievement, you don't have to use the right prayer. You just can't use the wrong one. I was planning on using the right prayer against the brother that I knew what they attacked with, so I went ahead and soul split and I ended up getting the achievement to my surprise after the first one. Yay me. I don't know, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel like I achieved anything. It honestly feels like I cheated a little bit. So, a little funny story about Barrows. They are, if you didn't know, quite old. They were released on May 9th, 2005, a really long time ago. Even though it kind of feels like yesterday. But I remember vaguely going down into the Barrows tunnels and being scared out of my mind. You know how the Barrows, ghosty kind of figures pop up while you're moving around the tunnels? And then sometimes they will, pop up in rooms where you don't expect them to pop up in? Well, that used to scare the crap out of me for some reason. I'm just kind of a wimp, but I was actually legitimately terrified of Barrows for a long time. And it had nothing to do with the difficulty of the boss. It was just I don't know, ghosts and stuff. But I'm proud to say that I've overcome my fear and I have no problem going to Barrows now. Don't worry, I won't be having any nightmares after completing these combat achievements. A little bit of a hard pivot here, but back when I was working on boss logs on stream, I used to get super tilted when I had to face a Chrisai because he switches prayers, but now you don't have to worry about that with Necromancy. That's made the game so freaking easy, it's crazy. I know a lot of people think it's a bad thing, a lot of people say it's a good thing. I don't know if it's good or bad, honestly, but man, it's made so many things way easier than they used to be. Take Linza, for example, who I'm about to face next. I used to have to fight for my life. For my life in order to beat Linza. I have been killed by Linza before. Granted, I wasn't very good at PvM at the time, but man, it's crazy how different it is. She's tickling me, and I'm just AFK with a random Revo bar right now. I could have killed her faster if I wasn't AFK, I could have killed her faster if my Revo bar was optimized and actually good, but the point is, you don't need to be good at what you're doing. And I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. It's okay. It allowed people to get into the game and start PvMing faster. It allowed people access to content that they couldn't do before, so I guess ultimately it's probably a good thing. And I know it's just Barrows, but it's just kind of a very small example of how Necros impacted the game on a larger scale. A lot of people don't like it because it bridged the skill gap, and they think it's kind of boring, but I don't know. You can't make everyone happy. No matter what happens, there's always going to be people who like something and people who don't like something. I'm pretty neutral, a little more negative about it, but I can always look at both sides, you know? Ultimately, the game isn't for me. It's not about me, it's about everyone. So if a lot of people like it, hey, more power to them. When I got down into the tunnels, I didn't realize I was gonna have a portal to the middle of the room, so I started running around like normal. And that's honestly my fault for not reading anything and realizing that I had unlocked that. But that's okay because Dark is gonna appear in a random room and it'll be over really fast. It's not a speed kill run, so it doesn't really matter how long it takes me, right? Slow and steady wins the race, or something like that. I did go ahead and complete the whole run around and puzzle and go to the secret chamber. Oh my god, I'm just noticing that there's a portal in this room too. I'm a silly girl. Yeah, I did not notice that. I'm literally just seeing it now for the first time. I even went back in the room to kill the boss and didn't realize there was a portal there. I just had like my blinders on and I was so focused on getting to the middle. But yeah, that's pretty much this achievement. I'm done with the boss. I went into the middle room and got no loot, no log progress, womp womp. So with those two, I'm 12 out of 19, and I'm going to go to the Chaos Elemental next because literally no reason why. That's just where I went. It was all super random, no plan. For this achievement, all I have to do is make sure that he doesn't use his weird chaos thing on me. I mean, it doesn't really matter what it's called, right? It's not that serious. I just have to make sure that he doesn't unequip anything that I'm wearing, which means all I need is a full inventory and for him to attack me. You don't even have to kill it. Fun fact, Chaos Elemental was the first boss log I ever tried to work on, and it was also the first boss log that I quit working on. This was back when the wilderness was actually the wilderness and Revs was popular still because the hammer was money. I spent some time farming the pet, and after getting it, I started working on Revs, but it was kind of scary and people kept killing me. I mean, that's kind of the point of being in there, but man, that's annoying. Also, the drop rates there are abysmal, kind of like they are in a lot of places in the game, so I really just got annoyed and kind of depressed and gave up. To this day, I still don't have the log done. I've tried to set myself up AFK a few times now that everything has changed, but I just don't have the motivation to get her done. That seems to happen to me a lot at this stage. To get this achievement done, I did have to hop worlds a few times. I wasn't getting attacked by the Chaos Elemental because people were already there, but it didn't take too long, and yeah, I don't know, there's not much more to say about this creepy looking monstrosity of a boss. Also, when you think about it, the Chaos Elemental is kind of a predator. He's constantly taking stuff off of you without your consent. Anyways, next up, we've got the giant mole. I've got a few achievements to tackle here, unfortunately. I need to kill it in less than 6 minutes in hard mode, less than 5 minutes in normal mode. Yeah, I read that right. And I need to kill it solo after stunning her during the berserk attack. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know this boss had name mechanics. I mean, it makes sense because it's a boss in a game, but I've never heard anyone say berserk attack before. Like, literally not one time. I knew what it was talking about though, because I remembered there's a part where you can stun it, and like, I mean, obviously that would be what I need to do for the achievement. The speed kill times for easy achievements, by the way, are kind of a joke. I mean, 6 and 5 minutes here is like, you'd have to go out of your way to get a 5-minute kill. Like, stand there and do nothing for a few minutes. Maybe it's supposed to be a huge morale booster? I mean, they were supposed to be completable by pretty much everyone that plays the game, and they definitely achieved that with these goals. Now that I've talked mad crap, let's be humble for a second. I did a little whoopsies here and actually had to do a few attempts because I'm silly and bad at the game. I brought Necro, and I'm not used to using Necro because I'm a magic girly, and on my first attempt in normal mode, I actually forgot what the necromancy stuns were. If you go back and you look now, you can see me actually checking out the abilities because I had to read and make sure I knew which one was a stun. This wouldn't have been a big deal. I could have stunned it in the last phase, but the boss was death marked. I forgot to get off the boss, and well, there was no last phase because Deathmark insta-killed the boss before I got there. Necromancy does too much damage for easy combat achievements. No problem though, I'll leave and come back in hard mode and knock it out in one go. But there was a problem with my plan. I didn't account for my last 2 brain cells not working. I forgot to change the instance to hard mode. I mean, it's not a big deal. I should have left and switched to hard mode, but I mean, who cares, right? I go through the 3rd normal mode attempt and finally managed to do it right somehow. I am so bad at this game. No. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone gets that way. So yeah, after that whole debacle, I go into hard mode and did the thing and got the speed kill achievement. Bada bing, bada boom, zoom zoom, we're out of here. I'm not proud of how I went about these particular tasks, but as long as you get to where you're going, does it really matter how you got there? So here's another fun fact for you guys. I had to do over 500 hard mode giant mole kills for the boss log. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I was in the depths of despair working on that one. For someone who gets so sad working on boss logs, I sure do like to torture myself a lot. It's just when you get to a certain point in the game, you have to decide to hyper-focus on something or take a break. And I decided to work on boss logs because skilling makes me sad and clues make me want to log out. But now working on boss logs also makes me want to log out, and here I am just doing random stuff now when I get the urge to do it. But that's not a bad place to be at, honestly. I mean, isn't that kind of what gaming is about? Having fun and doing what you want to do. Next up, we have Kalphite Queen. Hello darkness, my old friend. It's kind of weird going back to all of these bosses again after so long. The only thing I had to do here was kill the boss under 2 minutes 30 seconds, which for most people should be an easy W, especially with necromancy. You don't even have to change your weapons anymore. I used to absolutely hate switching weapons. It was only awful because I didn't keybind any of my weapons, so I had to, do it the old school way, like manually click them, and I don't like that. I ain't about that life. So, can I tell you guys a secret, by the way? I've been killed by Kalphite Queen so many times in the past, I'm not proud of it. Like a long time ago, obviously, but still. This boss used to be hard. Well, for me at least. You guys are legendary gamers, so I'm sure you've never died here. Kalphite Queen log wasn't too bad to work on either. By the time I started it, I could just AFK it. The hardest thing about AFK logs is making sure you don't go to lobby. It's kind of weird how RuneScape has become a second screen game for long grinds. When I'm AFKing, I don't even really consider that playing the game, especially now that the lobby timer is 15 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know, not really much to say. That's this one done. It was a breeze, and I can't say that I had fun doing it, but I did it. We are down to our last 2 achievements. This is very exciting stuff, guys. I've definitely left the best for last. We're going to face the Iron Killer himself, the 3-headed tormentor of the wilderness, the dragon, the myth, the legend, the King Black Dragon. Yeah, I mean, this video was never going to be heavy on the excitement, but I mean, I'm trying to hype it up a little bit, you know. I need to use anti-fire protection and slay the dragon in under 1 minute. All jokes aside, if you could look at my death counters for bosses, I would bet some money that I have the most deaths at this boss, because I'll tell you what, if you go AFK working on the boss log here, it's pretty much a death sentence. Now, I did not know about the potion reservoirs for the longest time, and man, when that anti-fire runs out, you melt. Every time I see a hardcore Iron Death in the global chat, all I can hear is DJ Khaled saying, another one. Please use protection, guys. And yeah, I mean, that's all of the easy combat achievements. Yay me. After wrapping up the easy achievements, I do not feel particularly accomplished. I mean, they were pretty free, which is what we expected. The only reason any of them was hard was because my brain turns off sometimes and I do silly things. Let's go ahead and have a little look-see at the reward. I'm going to be honest with you, there is literally nothing exciting about an amulet override for me. Emphasis on the for me. It's just not got any sort of wow factor. I don't know, maybe I'm harsh. Do you guys love the easy achievements override? I think if you're coming up in PvM, it's definitely something to aim for, and the easy achievements are going to add a nice layer of complexity to the game for newer players by giving them something to shoot for in the short term, since a lot of the long-term grinds can leave you feeling like it's impossible and out of reach. But that's a discussion for another video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little different than the ones I usually make, but maybe it was fun hanging out with me for a little bit. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and most importantly, as always, be kind to one another. See you next time, friends!